Awesome, man. Well, great to see you. Super
Good to see you
excited,
too,
dude.
bro. Yeah,
I'm
me too.
excited. Give me some update on what you how's it been so far with the offer you got on.
Yeah, so landed a really cool opportunity. This is a little different than like the info market, I guess you could say. It's more service based, working directly with B2B. So a lot of marketing services that we offer, and it's kind of just like like its own different beast in a way, right? Because we're used to like the B2C side selling really, I don't know, it could be as simple as like a fitness offer, etc. But with this is a little different. You have different ICP, different goals in mind. We also have like an outbound team that I built from scratch, and that's a completely different beast in itself too.
Hmm.
It's different building an outbound team. I think the hardest part with that is just keeping the guys on track, that they can see the mission still, that they're motivated and they're still hungry to dial. And so we give them a lot of incentives, obviously, but it can be tough with outbound. But it's just kind of the nature of the game that we're in, especially with it being B2B. So that's kind of where
Yeah,
we're at with it. Yeah.
yeah. Are the people you've hired, are they B2B experience reps?
Some of them came in with no experience. And
Hmm.
so I almost like that a little better, at least just starting off,
Okay.
because those guys are hungry. They don't really know what to expect and what not to expect. So as we're beginning our ramping phase, when we get things more dialed in, we're at that point going to be able to hire more talent, because we'll have things set up properly. So we've been at least been able to train the reps specifically for B2B, which is kind of nice rather than them having like a B2C mindset. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge though. Is just like if a lot of those people are B2C experience, they kind of just want to bring the whole NAPQ sales style, digging, probing, and that's not what actually moves the needle for those B2B people, right? What
Yep.
type of ICP demographic and psychology are you guys selling to right now?
So right now we target two separate areas. We target the US and the UK. Business owners doing anywhere from $500,000 upwards of $50 million annually. And those are businesses in all different types of niches, whether it's landscaping to roofing to HVAC to dental clinics to medical clinics, med spas, etc. We don't really focus on one particular niche, at least not for the time being, but we do have a lot of marketing services starting off from anything as simple from a website all the way up to like, digital receptionists that answer the phone for them, super employees, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, I kind of want to like make this a lot more niche down to like what could be beneficial for you ultimately, right? Because one is like my biggest most important pillar is understanding the offer, then the
Mhm.
ICP, then the type of people we hire, right? Or you're hiring, and then kind of like how the offer structure is and the type of language those salespeople are speaking to those people based on their goals and what they want to achieve. Because everything has to intertwine. You know what I mean?
Sure. So like my business partner, the guy that essentially hired me on as VP of sales, he actually started off in the info space. So he was like an operator. So he's used to working with a lot of like online guys. He's generated them a lot of money and it's cool. But like long term, he just realized it's not as sustainable as like working with brick and mortar businesses. So he made the switch earlier this year. However, we don't have enough data to really target just one audience yet at the moment. We're extensive with who we speak to until we can find the right target audience. Like, okay, out of 100 people that we've spoken to, like 30 or 40% of them are coming from these one or two niches. Like, let's target them, right? So that's kind of what we're still trying to dial in at the moment, which is why we're where we're at the moment. Yeah.
So there's, would you say like there's a bit of silver unclarity? What type of, what's the primary audience or the ICP for you guys so far?
Well, we know it's business owners within a certain criteria. They have to be making a certain amount. It's not, we just haven't dialed in a specific niche like roofers or dental clinics or, so forth and so on. So we know the
Mm.
ICP of who we want to target, but not necessarily the niche of what type of line of business they're in.
Okay, so as long as there are a certain age, certain income, and a certain area or whatnot, it's just you don't know the exact profession that those people that you're looking at, that you guys are looking to target or even service at the point. Well, so let me ask you this though: what do you guys provide fully within the offer?
So our main go-to package, I guess you could say, the abbreviations for that is the SAW package. So SAW, which is SEO, ads, websites. That's like marketing, like 101.
Okay.
So that's essentially what we provide to those business owners, which is why it's a little hard too to like narrow it down, just because like any one of those niches, no matter what type of business you're in, you could use marketing for your business. Um, and so maybe I don't know if maybe we want to close that door until only one specific vertical of niche, or if we'd want to keep it open for different niches because we could still serve them. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Okay, so I wouldn't recommend only doing SEO or only ads or only website. I feel like the packaging of having all three is very beneficial. It only gonna make sense for that exact business that probably only sees fruition on the SEO, or they only see fruition with having better ads, or maybe they need that website that can convert those people coming in. Obviously, depending if they already have one of those three things that's already established and they only need two, whatever the case may be. But every single one of those professions have different language, different goals, different metrics and stuff like that. So like what type of case studies or what type of profession out of those people have you guys seen success with or the company seen success with in the past?
So right now, before I joined in, because the business owner himself, he was split 50-50, meaning like 50% of his clients were online, 50% of them were in person, like brick and mortar businesses. And he was still doing some operating work for different people in the online space. He's doing copywriting for some big name people. And he didn't want to obviously like just completely shut that down because it's cash flow. Right now, though, on the actual business side, uh, I think he has 3 or 4 clients at the moment. One is a roofer slash painter, so he does like roofing and painting. Another one is a gym owner. He works with another company that does landscaping, so like cutting grass and doing like tree and snow removal during the winter time. And then the last one that we're actually looking to close, funny enough, is um, they're an online agency, but they do lead gen, but they want us to do their media buying, like completely run their ads for them internally, and then run the clients' ads once the clients come in. So that's essentially where we're at right now in terms of the different niches that we're in.
Mm. And is this 100% ads, like paid inbound leads, or is there any organic flow?
It's right now it's half and half. It's
Okay.
half out. It's half outbound, half paid ads.
And outbound through like kind of like warm outbound calling or phone setting, or like reaching out through
Lit
social media.
Literally, no, literally like um scraping leads, enriching them, having our outbound team dial.
Mm, okay. It's a very fun battlefield for the setters, huh?
It's a very like grindy, yeah,
God.
grindy, slimy operation at the
Goodness
moment.
gracious. Yeah.
Especially but that's mainly for the brick and mortar businesses though. Like we've built enough connections in the online business space. You talk to 1 or 2 people, they know another 2 or 3 people, right? Like you build connections that way for the
Yeah.
online business space. But because brick and mortar is newer to us in terms of us switching focus now, that's really the big, like one of the biggest levers that we can pull. Plus, it doesn't cost us anything. The only thing it really costs me is like time to like train the guys, but then it's not like we're, paying. It's commission based, so it's like it's not an issue at that point, and it's another way of lead flow.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess anything like top funnel marketing and lead gen. If okay, so if it's SEO, right, and then ads and website creation, that could be applicable for a lot of those businesses, depending on what they're looking for. If they have one out of the two, or they need all the three, how could it benefit them? The whole targeting and messaging through the ads. Obviously, it could be like if you are um, X, then this is what we do. And it could be like different static ads or whatever the case may be. I would say for the sake of growth and scalability, niching down to just one thing and maximizing on that one niche or that one sector just to get more case studies and build more rapport and also generate more revenue for the sales team. And then branch out to other things that are similar to it to maximize on the growth. That's a lot better. Because I don't know how many case studies you guys have or how many active partners you guys have right now. Anything below 10, 20, even 30 clients right now, it should be from one niche, at least for now, to generate more content and to generate more case studies that could boost more ads to generate different niches or different people that could, resonate to that. Does that make sense?
So in the beginning, it's better to focus on 1 to 2 industries and then expand out as we grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're never going to for the sales team's sake, but also for the company's sake, you're never going to maximize on every niche at the same time while starting out. You're
Sure.
kind of you have to pick that one industry. Um, this is kind of like SMMA at some point, like creating ads, website and
Yeah.
stuff, and you know what I'm saying. So
Similar. Yeah.
I would focus on one niche and become a pro, like so good, like the company becomes so good at that one niche. You don't box yourself in for longevity just in the beginning to have 20, 30, 40, or 50 clients. Use those case studies and then broad it out more throughout marketing and case studies for different niches that could do the same thing. Hey, we just helped this brick and mortar, retail store or this location better their website conversions and more SEO, better reviews, and their ads are bringing on X, Y, and Z clients per month, right? I see that you do X. It could be very beneficial for you if you're a power wash, or it could be a cleaning company, or it could be anything else that you can generate more clients and build social proof on Google more. Because now we're like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Because if you're just gonna broaden your attention to 10 or 15 different professions and you don't gain a lot of case studies in every single one of them, then you're just like, what are you really good at though? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then your sales team too, like they don't have to be masters at brick or mortar. They just need to be really familiar with the ICP's goals, pain, what could they benefit from, what type of results they're looking at, X, Y, and Z, so they can speak that language. Also, they need to be very savvy in the product knowledge. Are they very familiar with what you guys do?
Yeah, they're pretty familiar. I mean, we have daily meetings on everything. We do trainings. They have all the SOPs in terms of the company information. So,
Yeah.
and we always encourage them that if there is something that maybe they need an answer to or they don't quite understand, they can either talk to me or the owner. Um, but based on what you're saying, Fadi, in terms of niching down into either just 1 or 2 industries, uh, I guess how would you figure out which one, like what's that one niche? Like how would you find that out?
Yeah, that goes back to the kind of like before I decide to take on a sales manager role, or kind of like my full diagnosis. One, I want to look at the company's track record. What type of niche or clientele have they actually seen results what we do? Like how many case studies did we have? Was it mainly on brick or mortar? Was it mainly on X or Y or Z or whatever? What type of deliverables do we provide that actually solves that pain? And then I'll build off from that. But let's say the company doesn't have any case studies at all. I would want to figure out whatever my deliverables are or that I don't have could be served for a specific niche. So
Sure.
the
Like
beautiful, yeah, go ahead.
focus on the niches that are going to utilize their services the most.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is so the business owner that I work with, as I said, he was an operator. Funny enough, he was kind of in the real estate niche. He worked with a lot of real estate guys that were online, helped scale their offers to six figures a month. And so maybe you take the same skill set, you can then translate that into more like brick and mortar, like on the ground real estate agents or companies, whatever the case is, and say, hey, we've already worked with people in the same space, just on the online side of things, and then let's transition it over. So now we're working with in-person real estate agencies or businesses, and we'll bring the same services to you. Like, what are your thoughts on
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
that?
I mean, that is the biggest lever you can pull is using past case studies or track record from the operator to build the offer around what you guys can provide right now for the same people or advanced people within the same niche.
Mhm.
That is the
What
best way to do it.
what would you say if hypothetically, right, the real estate niche is off the table, even though that's what we have the most case studies in, that's off the table. In terms of, let's say we go for medical clinics, um, it could be stem cell clinics or whatever, med
Mhm.
spas.
Yeah.
If you were in a situation where maybe you guys have a lot of results, but not necessarily for that industry, and they ask you, like, hey, what kind of results have you gotten for businesses like us? What would you then do there?
I'll tell them, listen, there's a very similar pattern in business where we've seen that a lot of businesses, including the ones that we worked with, they lack exposure. They don't have a full infrastructure system in advance to bring the ideal clients that you're looking for. Okay.
Mhm.
Which means your SEO is not visible, right? You're an expert at what you do, but it's not visible. That's the first thing that we helped our X niche that we worked with. Two, your website is not converting the traffic that's coming in. I'm not sure what type of marketing are you spending money on, whether it's ads, whether it's cards, I don't know what it could be. But whatever the case may be, if the website itself is not converting those leads into customers or clients, then you're just pretty much leaking marketing money. So one is you're lacking exposure, and two, you're lacking conversion through your website, which is the thing that we are specialized in by helping the X niche that we worked with. And we've seen it's a massive gap in your niche right now. Does that make sense to you, John? You know?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, every business wants more leads,
Exactly.
and you can find patterns no matter what type of niche it is.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely.
Another question that I have for you, Fadi, is obviously you found a lot of success in this space, being a sales manager, working for bigger operations. Um, for a long time, the business partner that I'm working with now, he's a one man team, meaning he's a solo operator. He can do copy, he can do marketing, he can do media buying, all those things, right? Now that I've he's hired me as VP of sales and I'm bringing in on a sales team, he's wondering what are the team stacks look like in terms of, even though he can do those things, he's also curious now on, well, should I delegate it and should I hire an operator? Or should I hire a copywriter? Or should I hire a media buyer, et cetera, et cetera?
Mhm.
What would your thoughts be on that?
Oh, well, see, the thing is that um, one second. So the first thing what's up, Cody? How you doing?
Doing great. Had some issues with the Wi-Fi, so apologies for being a little late here, but got everything settled for the next 60 days of being out here locked in. So I'm really excited for it.
Super
Nice,
excited for
bro.
you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um,
Likewise.
but But yeah, Nate. So the first thing I would say, and it's honestly, I think every single coach or offer owner right now that they're going through is that they're wearing too many hats, and that's what's actually stopping them from success and growth. It's because they feel like they need to do everything for various reasons. Maybe they're just not. They don't rely on people, or two, they haven't found the right people, or three, they think they can do it on their own. These are the only three things. They can't rely on people. Two, they haven't found the right person, or three, they just feel like they can do it all on their own. And all those three
Sure.
reasons are kind of like invalid, anyways. So if what is he good at? Probably service delivery, even that could be outsourced. Sales and VP, that's you. Operation, tech, and copy could be outsourced as well. So
Mhm.
what would he want to be involved in? Because some coaches, they actually get the itch of not being involved. You find like they're like, oh my God, I need to do this. What else can I do? And then what happens is if they have nothing in their plate, they start jumping between different departments,
Yeah.
micromanaging and supervising, and it's pissing the other experts in those departments from doing what they're supposed to do. So first things first is, what is he really good at out of all those things? What would he not want to do if he doesn't have to, right? And then three, what would it be like for him if he doesn't have to do anything and the system and the company sustains itself? Those are the first three questions I would want to talk to him about.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And I think it's just habit because he has been a one-man band for so long. He's used to doing everything. I would say that sales was probably his biggest bottleneck, though, in terms of just getting more clients through the door. But he has no issue with fulfillment. Like, he's great at that. It's just getting them across the line first, which is why he essentially brought me in. And so at this point, I think he understands that he brought me in for a reason. He doesn't want to overstep there. I guess he's just now wondering, okay, what would my team stack look like on the back end with me, right? Like, who would I potentially have to hire on the back
Yeah.
end side for fulfillment? That way
Yeah.
he doesn't have to do anything. Once we scale to, 20, 30, 40 clients at that point, what kind of hats can he give out?
So for your niche specifically, just because it's more like a media buying team slash SEO slash like website creation, like it's literally it's marketing for any business.
Yeah.
So whatever team you guys hire on the back end to help get results for businesses is the same team that's going to help the business get more clients. You see what I'm saying? So if he's going to hire a media buying team or a media buyer in general to run ads for business owners that you guys inquire, he'll be the same person running ads for you guys as well. So he's pretty much hitting two birds with one stone with one hire. That's number one. Two will be a client success manager, someone that is the client journey person between once they get closed, they conduct the onboarding, they give access to the business. They are there on a weekly or even daily basis, giving reports by talking directly to you as the VP, letting you know about that person's journey for several reasons. One, Nate can start getting referral programs from other businesses that John knows because he has a great experience with you guys. So now you guys can get more upsells or even more clients on the back end because the client success manager is doing such a phenomenal job taking care of that client once he comes in, right? That's number one. Two, the client success manager could be providing data and really good feedback from that new client to the media buyer that's running ads to create more case studies to generate more leads with that. So now the sales is benefiting from the client success manager from referrals, upsells, and then the media buying team that's just, running you guys' ads to get more business owners can take those case studies and regenerate those as ads and as social proof for the front end. So now he has a media buyer running ads for the business that you guys are doing and other people's businesses. And he has a client success manager taking care of the whole back end fulfillment side that needs to be taken care of. And I'll hire a web designer or a web, someone that can create, websites. So two of those hires, client success manager and a website creator or designer, it's an hourly base. It could even be a monthly salary. And then maybe like $1,500 for client success manager, and then $1,500 for a website creator. Well, it depends. It could be a little bit higher, but for a media buyer, they either get a retainer or rev share, depending on how good they are. So pretty much 3 hires could change everything, where he doesn't even have to step in anymore.
Cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But the most important thing that I can advise on for the both of you guys, don't try to build infrastructure for the next 6 months. Use what's actually working, even if there's nothing working right now, and just try to leverage 5 to 10 new case studies as soon as you can, no matter how. Okay, by providing less, like let's say that you're by providing more, charging less, but whatever needs possible, because the more case studies you generate, the better the marketing becomes, the more feedback the company gets for your sales team, and then the more you guys can build off on top of that in so many different ways.
Can you do me a favor and absolutely flame my sales process if it's cooked?
Talk to me.
This is what we're doing right now for the outbound team, specifically for the outbound team. We understand we're reaching out to business owners. We're doing the marketing side of things, front end for businesses. Essentially, the outbound team has a lead list. They have KPIs they need to reach. But when they get on the call with somebody and they're interested, we typically lead in with like a website demo plus an audit. So, hey, we checked out your current website. We built you a free audit. Here's what's wrong with it. And then we'll actually show you the new version that has fixed all those problems. Would it be crazy to hop on a 10 to 15-minute call and I can show you, right? The business owner says, yep, sounds good. Let's do it. And they get booked into a closer's calendar, right? Because the closer from there would do the demo call and the final closing call. But it's just the first initial call where it's kind of like a small discovery, plus they show the website. And then that's where they kind of lead into, yeah, this is cool. Like, here's your new and improved website. But what's a pretty website if no one can find it? Let's talk about SEO. And then, by the way, if you want, we can also do media buying. We can run your ads so people can actually find the website directly through your ads or find your location. Would you be against hopping on a 45-minute call and I can dissect that with you one by one, more in depth so you can understand it? Then from there, they hop on to that 45-minute call, and then that's the closing call essentially. But that's essentially the process A through Z on getting them inside. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's beautiful. I think that anything about cold people, warm outbound, a 2-call sales cycle is very much needed, depending on how much you charge as well, right? Because sometimes you're going to find yourself that you could close someone on 1-call close. Cody, for example, recently, right, just with the current B2B done for you offer that we're selling for 40 to 65K, he closed a 40K ticket first call close, depending on the lead type, of course, depending on how that call goes and how urgent they have. But that's something you can almost never control. What you can't control as a closer, or the closer that's working for you right now, is how well that demo is conducted. Now, what you said was the setter will call the person. They'll tell them, hey, we checked out your page and stuff like that. We've seen there's a lot of leakage. Obviously, I'm just rephrasing, but we do have an updated version of your website. Would it be a bad idea to jump on a call and show you what it looks like and then see how that could benefit your business? And then they get on a meeting with the closer with like a demo call. And then on that demo call, they look over the new website and how it's looking, X, Y, and Z, do some more discovery, and then build that bridge on, well, now you have a good website that you could use, but what's that good use if nobody can find it? And if the marketing is not good and you can't even convert people, and that gives an incentive for what the next meeting is for the 45 minutes with no commitment. They get on a 45, there's a full pitch deck, full infrastructure on the ad side, SEO, and website, and then that's where the price comes in. So the great thing that I'm seeing here is that every call from the setter to the demo, to the second call, there's a reason for them to show up. With kind of like you're pretty much buying them coffee. Like a setter's calling them, providing them what a website, what the current website is like, and the new change that we've done. So they're like, oh, let me actually, there's curiosity. And like, okay, yeah, let me look into it. And then the demo, they see it and it's done, and then you build a gap for the marketing now. So now they have an incentive to show up for the second meeting, right? Which I really do like. Now, what are you guys struggling with right now between, is it the setting call? Is it the demo? Is it the closing call? How much do you guys charge? And is there an agreement in place? What are the main smoke screens that you guys get thrown out right now?
Well, I would say the biggest thing at the moment that we're having a hard time with is a show up rate. The reason for that is not necessarily because our setters are not following up. I'm very, well, tough is kind of a bad word, but we've instilled it into their brain to make sure that they're manually following up. However, maybe if we had a better follow-up process in terms of, automating some emails that show some testimonials, or show some other really cool demos that we've built, like implementing that, so that even if there's a day or two in between that call, which that whole process realistically should happen within a 72-hour period.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we shoot for. So today's Sunday. If we call Sunday, then we'll call us tomorrow, Monday, and then closing calls on Tuesday. Like that's kind of our main goal. The issue is sometimes, like, you're talking to business owners. They're like, oh, like I'm gonna be busy. I'm not gonna be free till Thursday. And instead of kind of like holding our ground in a way because we want to book them in, we'll be like, okay, fine, Thursday, right? We kind of got to work around their schedule. But then from Monday to Thursday, it's kind of quiet. Like, what would you recommend for the follow-up process to where we can make sure we're giving them value without being like annoyingly like just bothering them, like, hey, what's up, like just saying random
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
have like a lot of questions for you to just to understand more about the process. First of all, like what's the current show rate for the demo call?
The demo call is pretty high. I think right now we're right around 60%, right around
Okay.
60%.
So you're averaging 60% show rate on warm outbound or cold traffic right now,
For cold.
which is really good. So
Yeah,
60%. So obviously the lead type or lead quality and whatever the setters are talking to these people about and even the setter framework is working because 60% show rate is really good. And you guys are only booking what, a day, 2, 3 out anyways for those demos?
yeah, typically next day.
Okay.
um
So the show rate is really good for the demo.
yeah,
You're seeing that it could be better. You want it higher at 70 to 80%.
sure, yeah.
Okay. So the one thing that I've applied, remember we've done this for the construction offer together, right? Cody, Nate, right? And then I've also done it right now for the B2B side too with it done for you. What we would do, right, as at the end of the call, of the setting call, I'll say, "Hey John, look, I know you got the meeting tomorrow at 3 p.m. so we can go over the website and all the stuff. What are you typically doing a few hours before during the morning? Because I would want to give you a call just to make sure that time still works best. And to make sure if anything changes, I can go ahead and make adjustments a lot quicker. Are you free around a certain time? So I would want to know as a setter if they have free time hours before the meeting so I can call them to confirm that meeting. So you're not calling them out of the blue. That's number one.
Sure.
Two,
Okay.
what I would do as a setter too is in the morning of that meeting, I'll send a morning text. Hey, Nate, good morning. Looking forward to our call or our meeting. And then I'll call at that time that him and I agreed that I'm going to call to confirm the meeting for. So what you're doing is you're manually baby stepping people into that call. Because if you just call a business owner today and everything sounds good to them and you book them in for tomorrow at 3 p.m., if anything pops up or if they complete, because there's 4 reasons people want to show up. Either A, they forgot they had a meeting. 2, they didn't know the call was for. 3, they didn't know how the call can actually help them. And 4, they just really don't see the value in even entertaining this idea to begin with. So if those 3 things aren't really an issue, if they realize that the call is for the website and marketing, and then 2, they see that they could benefit their business, and 3, that there's actually value, then the one thing that can hinder these people from showing up is if they forgot. So a morning text from the setter, a 2-hour confirmation call prior to ensure the time is still good, sending an email upon booking, and an email like, let's say, 3 hours before the meeting or 12 hours before the meeting. That's like the best way to do it. So a morning text, a 2-hour call confirmation before the meeting, and then a 30-minute text before the meeting for the link for the meeting link and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, and we've trained on that too. I make my setters confirm on the call, like the time, the date, the place. Reconfirm that, hey, is there any reason why you would miss this call? And then, hey, just make sure you got the email. Can you click the green check mark that says yes, just to make sure that pops up on your calendar?
Yeah.
So like we walk through all of those steps together. And so the
Another thing
biggest
too is technicalities, by the way. Another thing is technicalities is that we would make the setters obviously set the expectation of calling them tomorrow at a certain time to confirm their meeting. But then
that
also we would send the invite, obviously book him in while on their call with them to ensure
Yep.
that they actually accept it. They accept the email invite on their end, or else it will go to spam. So now, technically, like on the technicality side, you can send the morning text. You can do the 2-hour confirmation prior. You can send a 30-minute text before the meeting to send a link, and also make sure that they accept the email while setting them to make sure that they got it on their end and set on their calendar. But then building expectation at the end of the setting call, or what the call is for, again, and how it can help their business, and that you're calling them a few hours before the meeting tomorrow just to ensure that the time still works best. If those 3 things are done, or 4 or 5 things are done properly, as well as the conversation made sense to the business owner, your show rate will be a lot higher.
Okay. And then when it comes down to setters booking on the closer's calendar, because technically the demo calls with the closer, they're
Yeah.
booking directly on Calendly. Is that something that should be done on Go High Level?
Yes. what I would do is I would have two different calendars, one for the demo call and one for the closing call. So two different
Yep.
calendars, two different stages. So when the setter books a demo call, it books from demo call calendar and it sets into a certain stage that says call one or manually booked, whatever the case may be. And then the closer books the second call on the other calendar and it lands into a different stage. Both stages have different automations for reminders and nurturing and stuff too.
Okay.
So
But
that
that
way it
should be
helps
done
you
on,
track it better on Go
but
High
that should be
Level.
done on go high level, not on Calendly.
No, Go High Level. Go High Level because now you can connect stages, you can connect calendars, you can send automations, you can track so many different things. Also like owners, tasks, notes, all the stuff. So you're not leaking people as you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then I guess where we kind of see that drop off in show rate is from demo call to presentation call.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because we're not providing enough value on the demo call because we frame it as a 15-minute call. And it is. We want to respect their time, obviously. Like we don't want it to be like an hour-long call if they've only booked in for 15 minutes. Um, so we try to build as much value as we can within the 15 minutes. But then the next call, we frame it as like a 45-minute call. And that's where the business owners are like, I don't know if I want to hop on a 45-minute call, right? So
Let me ask you this though. What's stopping you guys from closing on the demo call?
because at that point we wouldn't be able to provide all of our services. It's just a website that we
What how
present.
come? How come?
I don't know if we'd be able to provide all of our services or explain it within a 15-minute session.
So take instead of 15 minutes, have it a 45-minute call and make the demo around the website that's been created. And then from there, highlight the importance of the marketing to push towards that website and what it could do for their business. And then have a pitch deck that shows the type of media buying and SEO growth that you guys have done and what it could be applicable for that person to move the needle.
Do you feel like we get less responses on the first initial call though if we wanted to book them on a 45-minute call versus a 10 to 15-minute call?
So don't mention, hey, I'm going to book you on a call 10, 15 minutes to look at the website. Just say, hey, by the way, you know what? I can go ahead and get you on a meeting with our senior partner or our senior strategist to show you for a quick, it could be a quick briefing. You don't have to highlight 10, 15 minutes. Once they
Sure.
book it and they show up, it's a 45-minute call at the end of the day. 45 minutes, they're not going to look into it. It could be 30 minutes to 45. Doesn't matter. But on that call, you show the website, the close desk discovery, shows other client success, shows why that's important for their business, dissect what they're currently at business-wise and where they could be if they change the infrastructure, if they had better ads, if they had better website, if they had better SEO, if they're currently doing X, Y, Z amount of clients a month, or if they're doing X, Y, and Z income a month, by improving their ads, by improving their website, by improving the SEO, they could be doing times 2, 3, whatever case may be within their business. And then they walk away from that call super hyped up and they can just move the needle right there. If you don't have a smoke screen, if you genuinely don't have, how much is a ticket?
Like the actual like the package. So if you just get all three
How
in
much?
in one go, it's 5K up front,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a 2K retainer.
Do they have to sign an agreement with you guys?
It's the first initial agreement is 3 months, and then after that they get to decide whether they want to sign another contract. So like after the first 90 days, if the service is there, the hard part is like with SEO and paid ads, they're not going to see like a ROI right away, like within the first 30 days.
Yeah,
Like there's a
yeah.
lot of things that we're testing. So that's why we like to have that 90-day period just so they can get the results. So yeah.
So how big is the agreement?
What do you mean?
Like how long is how many pages is it?
I think it's like 3. It's just like it's like the first page. The second page is deliverables in terms of like what we do. And then the third is like the contract what we sign.
Oh my God, you're gonna get Cody excited here. Cody was conducting demo calls 45 minutes, selling a 65K package with a 30-page agreement, dude.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that if you're getting someone to show up on that demo, You have to have the closers attempt to close that person right there and then. If they genuinely like the website, there's a gap in discovering between where they're at, where they could be if they change the website, add the marketing side and SEO, and you can have a guarantee in place for them, right? And then right there and then they can sign an agreement. It's only 3 pages and pay $5,000. I don't see why they wouldn't do that if they already committed to the first call. But if they say no, then the closer has to handle all the objections, build the gap and all the stuff. Still get some type of commitment on the demo call, and then book the second call maybe for more questions or any outline things. But you have to, like, the demo call has to be a lot more stronger. And like what Cody said, as long as the decision makers are on the call, if the decision makers are on the call, 5K is very feasible for these people. Number one, 5K is very feasible. Agreement is only 3 pages. So the closer can literally go over it with them, right? So the agreement shouldn't be an issue. $5,000 is not an issue. It's going to do so much more for their business. And if the decision makers are on the call, that shouldn't be a problem either. I genuinely believe that you should change that first demo from 15 minutes to 45. Make that the central point from discovery, current situation, where they're at, where they need to be. What would that mean to them? Here's the website. This is what our current stores do. This is what we work on. And then initiate the pitch right there and then, depending on the lead type, of course. But then don't have to focus strictly on the second call because they're not going to show up for it because they're going to know it's going to be the same thing again. They already know everything from the 15-minute call. Another company trying to sell me something, you're going to have a massive drop-off rate on there.
So should we split test that then?
Sure.
Or do you think we should implement that right away?
Hey, man, listen, look, if your setters are getting a 60% show rate from warm, outbound, or cold, 60% of the people are showing up on the call, you should conduct a 45-minute call on that demo. It should be from who we are, who we are, here's the website, what type of business are you on, how long you've been doing it for, how many clients are you getting a month, how much revenue are you making, and if this website helps you get more clients, what would that look like for you? And yes, website is one thing. Here's what drive more traffic to this website to generate you more clients, which you're currently making right now, because I'm not speaking off my ass. These are the clients that we actually work with. This is what they're currently doing with their marketing, their ROAS, how many clients are signing up a month. Here's how their website is looking like. What would that mean to your business? So let's say that we do get to work in like a little temperature check. Like let's say that right now you are brick or mortar. Let's say you're bringing on 50 clients a month, right? With the current website that you have right now with no marketing or even mediocre marketing, our client right now is bringing on more clients. This is how their website looks like. This is how we run our media buying side or everything that needs to be done. It would exponentially increase your clients and stuff. What would that mean for you? It would mean a lot. Oh, help me. I like the website. It seems like you guys have better marketing. And then, yeah, and you told me that you want more clients and all. Okay, cool. So what I can do here, let me show you our agreement and how it looks like in terms of deliverables. 3 pages, you go over it together. Obviously, temperature check before, and then you pitch, send them the agreement, they sign, and then it's a 5K. And then obviously there's a guarantee in place. That's it. I'm telling you, the demo should be longer, 45 minutes, and the closer should be attending the close because 5K is nothing for these people. Agreement is super small. What's even the point of the second call? You're just increasing sales cycle for nothing, and your drop-off rate is tremendous.
Yeah, I guess I was in the impression that because it's coming from, I'm strictly talking about the outbound team right now. So because it is outbound, it's almost like we didn't know if it was going to be too much friction to try to get them on a call and try to close them right then and there. So that's the only
depends,
reason why
right?
I thought about that. Right.
It depends, brother. It depends on
Sure.
the lead type. Like, for example, if someone is super bought in and they're like, oh, yeah, no, I love the website. And then the closer is probing more on like how long you've been doing this for, what type of, how many clients you're bringing on, what's the biggest bottleneck, what like here, let's say here, you can have access to this website, but what good use could it be if you're not generating more clients from it and marketing is bad? How many more clients would you want to take on a month? X, Y, and Z. Well, we do our media buying. These are our current clients. This is how many clients are generating a month. This is how much they're spending. This is how much they're making. What would that mean to you? Is that feasible for you? Yeah, if everything checks out, you close them right there and then. But if it's someone that's very closed off and stuff, you don't pitch him. What you do is like, hey, look, since everything makes sense, I'm gonna send over this website for you to use, or you can check it out. What I can do is we can set up a meeting for tomorrow, the day after. I'll go back and talk to the team to see a custom tailored plan that can benefit your business, where we can talk it over and then see if it can benefit you to begin with. But the demo call has to have stronger rapport. 15 minutes is not enough. Whether you pitch on that call or if you don't, 15 minutes is never enough.
Okay.
It should be the opposite. The demo should be 45. And if you're really leaning If you're really leaning on the second call has to be 15.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because it's the outbound team, so like we didn't know if it was too much friction to be like, hey, let's hop on a 45-minute call. But I guess if we just ignore the time frame of the actual call, just get them on call, then we might as well just shoot for that, because the drop off rate from call 1 to call 2, in terms of demo to presentation, it drops off significantly. So
The drop up is having two reasons. One is that you guys are framing the first call as 10, 15 minutes because you guys don't want people to say no to. But then two, the call is too short and 15 minutes is not enough, where they don't feel the need to showing up again 45 minutes. So everything should be dissected. Your closer skill set has to be very good, where he can mirror the person's energy by presenting the right things that actually make sense for that business owner, where it makes sense for him to pitch it right there and then. I would see that you guys should be closing on first call upwards of 80 to 90% of the deals. 10% should be people that are extremely skeptical or they cannot move the needle besides the decision maker or business partner. And that's like 10% of the people. And the call should be 48 hours afterwards. Anything longer than that, you can kiss goodbye. So that's the best way to structure that out.
cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Cody.
I know you had your hand up.
I was gonna say, but before we ended up working together on the real estate development offer, I did cold calling. You guys have names for your lead list, right? Are you doing paid lead lists that you have the owner name?
Where the business owner has like a AI bot where it enriches them and it scrapes them. So yes, like the owner's name, their email, their business, how much they're doing a year, etc.
Then you can book as long of a call as you want. Like before I did the real estate development offer, I was doing cold calling. I had the business owner name, I had their email, had their direct numbers. So it was enriched leads. And I would call them for a supply chain offer for something they didn't think they needed, but could save them a lot of money and give them custom products that didn't exist on the market. And we would book them in for a 30 to 45-minute demo, where the only other information that we would need in that call is if they have a sample, can they send us the actual specifications of the sample so we can send them a new copy and do that research on our side. But if there's anything stock, we could have it done same call, close them out in 45 minutes. If they're going to hop in the call anyways, like if they're genuinely going to set the time aside and they're interested, might as well give them all the information you possibly can.
Did you frame it as like a longer call?
No, I didn't frame it as a long call or a short call. I could go back and pull up this script, but back then I said, cool, it'll be a very brief call, brief but comprehensive. I want to make sure you get all the information to see if this would or wouldn't work for you. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you come into the call, we're not able to build something that's custom or to your liking or anything else, then you don't have to hear from us again. But I want to at least give you the benefit of being able to hear exactly what we have, because it's worked for so many people. We've worked for XYZ companies, especially if they're from an area that those companies are also from. You're calling leads in New York. You've got somebody who's from Long Island mentioning that case study on the call. Build enough social proof for them to show up. If they've already showed up, unless they tell you to fuck off or they have something else going on, like they're there.
Yeah. So then would the process then be, because like the way we're doing it is like they know they're going to get on a call with us, so we can show them an audit of their website and a demo. So at that point, where would you fit that audit and the demo in? Would it be in the beginning, and then after you show them, you can do like a discovery, and then you can show them the other services, or like what would the actual process of that call then be?
Of the presentation? I think Fadi would probably have a better idea of how to present that. Typically how I did it with this supply chain offer was we would start off with like what their actual, okay, what do you have for stock products? What do you have for custom ones? These are what I found online. If they had something stock, I'd already have quotes going into the call. If they had something that was custom, I'd wait until we're in that call so we can go over the custom design and move into that, and then figure out where are you actually planning to take your business. Are you wanting to just stay as like a one bar where you have your own, because I was doing beverage and spirits industry. Do you want just one bar mass manufactured? Are you looking to go wholesale? Because this company also had wholesale connections, mass manufacturing connections, so it offered upsells. So I'm asking those questions just to qualify them, but it is actually about their business. It's okay, where are you looking to scale? It's not only going to benefit this with these products, but even if it's an upsell, let's say somebody's like, well, I think the website's cool, but I have more interest in the media buying. You're probably still going to close them on the media buying.
Exactly. That's why, like, it's. I would really maximize on that demo tremendously, because if you're getting someone from not knowing who you guys are to showing up on that call, they need to dissect everything in that 45 minutes instead of 15, because 15 minutes is not enough to really probe and dissect and show value and even attempt to close whatsoever. So 45 minutes is a sweet spot. 30 minutes is too short. 1 hour is too much. 45 is right there and then, especially for that demo. If everything lines up to them, and honestly, man, you guys have no friction in terms of agreement is very short and the capital to start is very low. So they shouldn't say no to it. If it makes sense, listen, if it makes sense and the closer can go over why it makes sense and how it worked for similar people and what it could actually do for them right now and what the next step will look like, they're going to go ahead and sign an agreement, send a 5K and get to work. The second call will it wouldn't even be feasible. But let's say they say, well, I want to do more research on you guys. I want to see what you guys actually do. Send me some stuff to reflect on it. Then he can still try to push a little bit more, but not lose the deal. But then only set up a meeting for 24 hours, 48 hours afterwards. And then make sure, like, hey, the next meeting is going to be very brief, just so we can go over X, Y, and Z, build a plan, and then get to work. Or even loop in you or the offer owner that probably has more things to share or something like that to build more status or authority. So now he knows someone else can get involved, whatever the case may be. But make sure you title your closers too, because that adds a lot of leverage. Like if there's like email signatures with the person's, profile picture and whatever the case may be, it builds more authority for these B2B people for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that goes on to increase in show rate from the setter side, and that also goes on to minimizing your sales cycle and converting a lot more.
Sure, that makes sense. I'm gonna leave it off there because I know we don't have a little bit of time left, and Cody has some questions, so I'll leave it off
we're
there.
good. We're good. I extended. We're good. I extended. Should be all good. But yeah, Cody, go ahead.
Beautiful. Well, first off, Nate, it's great to see you again, man. It's been a hot minute.
Good to see you, Lodi.
Yeah, so biggest thing is right now we're still maximizing. We're going back to old clients, basically getting this from the ground up. So a little bit of background, 30-second background on this coach. About 10 years ago, he was working mid-level management for a tech company. And he said, I don't want to work mid-level management. I want to retire. And so he started leveraging loans, leveraging capital, and buying single-family rentals. He was doing multifamily rentals. He noticed that there was a crash coming up about 4 years ago, got out of it at the right time, saw a lot of people in his space get crushed by multifamily rentals when the interest rates spiked and you had the varying loans. But he makes about $50,000 to $75,000 a month, completely passive, that he's been able to scale up in 10 years while he doesn't have to manage anything. He has property managers for everything. So the ICP is mid-level management, getting them within 6 months to have their first rental property, making them over $400 a month passive with zero work on their side. So that's kind of the offer there. And if they don't do it in 6 months, which he's only had one time out of, he's had like close to 60 or 70 clients at this point, they got it by month 7. Usually it's within about 90 days. So really killer offer. Right now we're getting all the leverage tools from reaching back out to the old leads so we can get those testimonials, those case studies. There's a few people who are doing a few grand a month already that he started working with about 1.5 years ago to leverage that into tools. The biggest thing is I want him to scale as much as possible, especially in the mid-level management. There's a lot of people who are skeptical about different spaces, a lot of risk, but people know single family. People in mid-level management would know single family, and the offer, I think, appeals to them very well. The only platform that is currently being utilized is LinkedIn. He doesn't have an Instagram presence, doesn't have a YouTube presence. He has 80,000 followers on LinkedIn, and everything has not been him doing any organic outreach, not asking people to click, not asking them to DM, but just from people messaging him, how do you do what you do? He's closed about 2 deals a month consistently for the past year. And before that, he did a little bit of marketing and had some more traction. So I want to bring up the conversation to him because I know for long-term scaling, we're going to have to cross-platform. Some other lead source is going to have to be leveraged. I think organic makes the most sense rather than going straight to paid. So that way he can get more leverage and more content for people to view rather than just read posts. But I may be, based on your face, I'm guessing I may be mistaken with that.
No, you're not mistaken. You're not mistaken, brother.
But he also he has a lot of podcasts out there. So I guess the biggest question I would have is what would be the best way? Because he wants to just focus on content and talking to people. That's what he loves. He's like, I want to just make this as big as possible. And I want to focus on just talking to the people that I care about, but he's managing all the DMs, everything else. We're taking care of that. But how can I make sure that the time he's leveraging with whatever content he's doing that's aside from LinkedIn is leveraged the most effectively possible. I guess what platforms would you recommend, and how would you recommend to build the best content strategy in those regards?
Absolutely. Great question. So he has leverage of having 80,000 followers on LinkedIn. Or connects. That's number one. Two, his main source of traffic is LinkedIn. He's creating content which he enjoys, and a lot of people are coming from there. So what I would do is I would want to amplify that. How do I do that? By using ads. Paid ads is going to amplify the growth. So he can keep on creating content on LinkedIn. I wouldn't recommend cross-platform anytime soon, because LinkedIn is where his ICP lives, dies, and breeds in. You know what I mean? Those are that's where they're at. And if you can crack LinkedIn, you can crack anything, especially for B2B. So initially, I would recommend for him to keep on creating content. The only changes that I would do with his content is making it a lot better if it needs to be better in terms of algorithm based, in terms of topics, in terms of what I would do is I would reflect back on the 70 clients that he has, go back into the sales calls or their main concerns or pain or things that they're dealing with, and then create content around those questions or those bottlenecks or those issues. So now it's speaking directly to the same ICP, but you're utilizing the current case study situation to target more people that are in a similar situation. That's number one. Two, what I would do is I would take the best high performing content that he has on LinkedIn and run LinkedIn ads and run meta ads or any other ads with that. Nate, you're hopping off. All right, my man. I hope this was useful for you, my man.
Got to get another call going, but it was great to see you guys. Hey, we'll do this soon again, okay?
Let's get it.
Absolutely.
All right. See you guys.
So what I would do is I will in terms of content itself, I would sit back and look at all the 70 people's concerns, bottlenecks, questions, anything, even good things too. And then I will create content around those topics. That's number one. Two, I will leverage more case studies within the content too. Whether if it's coaching calls he's taken or whatever the case may be, I will leverage that as content. And then three, I would take the best producing content that he has and use it as an ad, whether through Facebook or Meta, YouTube, if needed, or Google, especially because Google has a lot of B2B, but most importantly, LinkedIn. If 70 to 80% of the ads go through LinkedIn and then the rest goes through Meta and Google, and just make his content a lot more towards the questions and concerns about his ICP and share more about the deliverables and stuff like that. Focus on the top of the funnel that could be broad topic around the industry and what he does and the pains and stuff. And then middle of the funnel could be more so about the coaching or the program or acquiring those rental properties. And then take his best piece of content, repurpose as ads. You guys will have a really good steady flow of lead flow coming in. But most importantly, systems and also sales team, right? That's going to be the second best thing to look at.
I agree. Yeah, sales team is going to be the biggest step once we have all of this leverage, because one thing that he even mentioned to me when we were working on the agreement, kind of how we were going to structure everything, is he told me, he's like, I don't know how to sell. He said, if I actually knew how to sell, I think I would make a ton more money. He's closed at about a 30 to 35% rate without pitching anyone anything. Basically, people just coming to him saying, can I pay you? And he's like, sure. And then building something that works for them, with a lot of them not even really having one-on-one with him, but just getting his phone number and being able to shoot him a text or a voice note when they need something. That's basically been the whole extent. People have paid him between $2,000 and $8,000 for that service without the one-on-ones, without the structure. So the biggest thing is all of these clients that we have, a couple of case studies, we're getting the rest of them. I'll go back in and get either him or myself or both to be able to ask those questions, because that's how we're going to build out the funnel. That's how we want to make sure that it's a repeatable process that's less stress on him. Because otherwise we're going to be capped pretty early on how many clients can actually come in. If we don't know where to start and we're trying to custom plan everything, that's going to become a headache. It's fun to talk to people. It's not fun to be confused.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So leveraging case studies is huge, not only for the marketing side, but also for the sales side, understanding more about the product knowledge, the ICP, and all the stuff too. And if he's not, see, the thing is that the one thing that I really like a lot is that he doesn't have to conduct a lot of one-on-one, and he's still inquiring clients. So if he decides to do like a group coaching call or something like that, that could be really good for content in terms of if he wants to like go heavy on that. But sales wise, right now, like, what are you thinking? Like, are you doing more like a one call thing? Because obviously they're coming in a lot more nurtured. They know who he
Yeah.
is. What type of structure of call? What type of reps are you going to hire? You know, all that the whole
Yeah.
9 yard.
One call close. I'm going to hop in at first, approve the sales process so we can actually get something that's in stone for a framework before we bring in any other closers, especially as lead flow is low, and then bring in either a setter or a VA to just make sure that they're confirmed, that they're nurtured prior to going into that call. So there's a smoother transition. There's two different ways. One is what I thought would work best. The other is what the coach said he would like to do. And I would love to just put them both in front of you, completely non-biased, and get your feedback on it. So the way that I thought would work best is, since people are already getting huge amounts of free content on LinkedIn from it, huge. He's posting twice a day. He's been posting twice a day for basically 5 years. They can go back and scroll forever. I even have different files of just all the LinkedIn stuff that I can feed in to make the biggest notes of what's performed the best. An average of 100 to 1,000 different reactions per post. They're very, very, some of them have 10,000 plus, but they've done very, very well. The way that I thought it would be best structured is, since they're getting free content, to do a low ticket where it'd be some sort of group coaching around like a 2,000 mark, with the guarantee of you follow these steps, you do everything, you attend the group coaching calls, you don't get this, you get free access until you actually get your sale. The other one being a 10,000 one-on-one, where they get one one-on-one call per month. They get direct access to WhatsApp. The WhatsApp can be managed by a VA, so it's not his direct WhatsApp number, but of course that VA needs to be trained on everything in order to make sure they can answer those questions. And then if it's something more in detail, he still has access to that WhatsApp. Now, when I talk to the coach, he's a little ADHD. So he's like, I like that model, but I also would like to do maybe a low ticket into high ticket. So just one high ticket package and like a $50 a month community. So based on those two, what do you think would perform better, and where is your thought process around both?
So if he sold a lot of $2,000 tickets or $3,000 tickets, I'll have that as the middle ticket, honestly, just because it's proved that it's been sold so many times. I'll just have it as less access. So like, think about it this way. You would have a better chance, just because the ICP is a lot more sophisticated. If you have like a monthly subscription for them to be inside of a community, you're going to be wanting to play a volume game, which you think it's a good thing because he has a lot of views and stuff, but it's hindering a lot of the growth, because I would more try to charge 2-3K tickets or 5K tickets for, let's say, 10, 20 people a month, which I'm not sure if he's doing that or not. I think it's feasible. 10 people a month at 5K, or let's say 20 people at 3K or 2K, whatever the case may be. But your upsell will be a lot better, because once they come in, they get access to that 2, 3, 4, 5K ticket, which he's been selling for a while just from texting people. You can upsell people towards that 10K a lot sooner. And I think that's a lot better than having a monthly subscription for $50 or $100 for 2,000 people and then trying to upsell in the back end.
I'm on the same
I would
page.
avoid low ticket. This the number one rule. Avoid low ticket. Anything subscription based, avoid it. Like your life is threatened on it. Don't do low tickets whatsoever, man. Just go like the lowest you can go.
I thought the low ticket was a terrible. Not you can't tell him it's a terrible idea, but the long story, I was like, I don't think it's going to make the most and get people the most value. You're going to put a lot more time, money, and effort into it, and you're going to get very less. Because I ran that for myself a while back, and it did not do well at all. I crashed and burned with it. Would you do a free community, or just completely cut it out of the equation? They have to pay to have any access.
Pay to have any access. Your free community is the content.
Done. That's what I was thinking as well, but it's good to have some clarity on that.
Yeah, your free community is the content. I would say, like, what you guys can do is you guys can build a newsletter where people can comment, or they can reach out to get a specific resource, and they can opt in, and you can build like a massive newsletter for you to nurture people in and stuff. That's like the second best thing to do if you don't want people just watching stuff, like a resource on certain things that could be beneficial for these folks. But ultimately, what I would do is I would focus on exactly what's been working, right? 2K, 3K tickets, and then upsell in the back end within 30 days or less, really. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking as well. There's a couple connections that he has also. So where we could go from a 2K, it's kind of like, here's all the resources. You still have group calls, all the information you need to get that deal. While the 10K is how to scale to numerous properties, the banking connections that are going to allow you to do that without leveraging your own capital. So you don't have to go and search for those connections, but you have it all in-house.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So now you're going to be the one jumping, taking these meetings at first before you start hiring closers and setters and stuff. That goes back to your hiring process, the ICP dissection, and then which is your ideal customer profile, which you should have like a full clarity on who these people are, age demographics, psychology, why they want to get into this, what makes them resonate with the coach, and what are they really looking out from this? Like time wise, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to 12 months, more forward, how many properties they want to scale to, what type of income would actually make sense for them to quit what they're currently doing. And then your other ICP, which is your ideal candidate profile, is setters and closers that have experience with B2B, number one. Two, that are mature enough that they can talk to these people and understand and fathom. Another thing is fathoming, digesting, dissecting these people's pains and the language so it can transmit over to the setter conversation, but then also the closing as well for you guys to grow consistently. And then from there, you have the KPI tracking. So you guys are mostly going to be one call anyways, just because it's warm, organic. So you're pretty much going to have your, well, I'm just going to send you the dashboard, and you can use that where the similar one that we've had. It's one prompt and it builds out for you within 30 seconds. And you're going to have your setter reports, your closer reports, 2 different team dissections, and then all your KPIs tracking between dials, or how many DMs sent, how many conversations sent, how many calls booked, how many of those showed, how many closes, reschedules. And then you can like have different forecasting based on the team's growth and stuff.
Beautiful. Yeah, I built a white label CRM for it, but it's obviously there's a lot more than just keeping track of where the leads are at.
Oh yeah. But then also too, it's just like you guys are using Hogo High Level, right?
No, it's white labeled. White labeled platform built with the idea of GHL.
Gotcha. So as long as there are stages and there's automations that is moving people, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that whatever calendar they book, they're going through a certain stage, and the automations are firing up based on nurturing and confirmation. But then you also want your tasks, your notes, and everything. And then make sure you create the Slack the same way that you and I are used to, for the different offers, to have different Slack channels. Every channel has a purpose because it helps you to document things, and it helps you always go back into what's going on, because you're going to have a lot of leakage. It just happens, and you don't want people to leak because it's revenue buried there. So
the longer they go without talking to you too, the more buried they get. They could be the hottest lead ever because they saw a lot of content, they were diving into it, they were ready to go. But it's almost like if somebody's getting ready to skydive and there's not that person there to help them make that jump, they wait there for another few days. They're not going to want to jump.
No, exactly.
Sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah, the automations are set up. I have to make sure it moves through the pipeline stages properly. The Slack is already set up, so there's no issue there.
Yeah.
I know I have a call with him tomorrow where that's really solidifying, hey, these are the offers. This is exactly what we'll go ahead and go with. This, kind of the reason why, make sure we're all aligned. I took some notes when you were talking with Nate too. I want to make sure exactly that way I have a clear scope. What would you want to do? What wouldn't you want to do? Because I can outsource or automate or do almost everything except for things he has to be present for. The stuff that he is going to be the best with, which is going to be talking to these people about what he does, which is why they resonate with him in the first place.
Yes.
If he wants to do something else that's not micromanaging, because you mentioned if there's not enough on his plate, they're going to feel like they want to micromanage because they want to be actively involved. I want to see what he prefers to do, because I have all of the LinkedIn scraped. I could create LinkedIn posts the same way that he does, because it's got 5 years of memory from him posting. Obviously, we have like the WhatsApp that can be managed by VAs. We have the pipeline management. We have the data integration, the setters, the closers, the content. What does he want to do? Because then I think that would be way better scope and structure, especially in that conversation. That way there's not any issues down the line.
Well, what you want him to do eventually is create content and then just fulfill those coaching calls or whatever the case may be. You should only be managing the sales team in terms of hiring, firing, KPI tracking systems, full infrastructure, and clear communication with your weekly calls. And then what I would do is I would outsource someone that could do my operational side in terms of any like tech side through your white label CRM or whatever the case may be. But that's something you could do unless it gets really hectic. That's an hourly fee that you can dump into it. But just because you also want to,
if it does get hectic, that's something you don't want to spend your time on when there's much more important endeavors to dive into.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you have done sales for a while. You know what type of teams you need to build. You know the type of culture needs to be established, the communication style, the selling style. Anything between setting up a copy or tech or CRM and automation, that could be outsourced. Anybody could do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are you struggling with coming up right now? Is everything clear on your end?
I think everything's clear at the moment. I wanted to make sure I was on a good basis before moving anything more forward, because obviously I built out the back end, the Slack channel, but before really going and repurposing the content, going towards ads or any other content strategy, that was what I wanted the most clarity on. I know I have a conversation. His name's Marco. I have a conversation with him tomorrow where we've got an hour set aside to really just make sure everybody's on the same page. I think if there's anything I have confusion on, it'll probably come from that call, to make sure that everything's being built, not just effectively, but also synergistically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, bring it on for our next call next week, and then we'll go over it together, because that way we can set the pace for our weekly structure, whether it's from KPI systems, hiring, anything in that sort for you to get this rolling the right way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, my main goal, and I know it's probably a big goal. I want to see if it's possible based on the numbers he's hitting. He obviously has traffic, but he's not doing anything to make, like, there's no, DM me for more, drop a comment, nothing. And I know LinkedIn can be a little, obviously you can't automate it, but you can still have some of those CTAs. Even without that, he's hit 5 to 10K a month through coaching. I wanted to see if we can get it to 100K in 3 months. That's a goal, 100K a month in 3 months.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
very
that's very,
feasible.
very achievable.
100%, super achievable. I mean, think about it this way, right? I mean, that's only 10 clients at the 10K, right?
Exactly.
A month,
Exactly.
you know? So it shouldn't be an issue. I would say one thing though. The more, right now he has 70 people. Use the case studies for a lot of the sales infrastructure in terms of scopes, ICP dissection, your hiring process, and everything. So you understand more about the ICP and who you want to hire for those roles. After you get off the calendar, when do you get off the calendar? When there's more lead flow and the systems and process. I definitely do think you should get a setter though. Or if you want to set and close for the first month, just inquire maybe like an extra 5 to 6, 7 deals or whatnot, or even less. Use that data to hire someone. And then meanwhile, he needs to understand that he needs to push heavily on the content or refurbish the content in a better way, because he can make it better, but then set some capital aside for more ads to generate more leads.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, we wrote that into the agreement where it's 35% rev, all of sales team pays come out of my side. And then he keeps the 65% rev with 20 to 30% being set aside for future advertisement that start, well, once we actually have everything built and start scaling through there. Because we want to optimize on LinkedIn for like 30 days once everything's fully built out, see what's achievable there. And then ads makes the most sense now, because why try to restart something from scratch when there's already that large platform?
Absolutely. He can leverage tremendously organically through LinkedIn. Way better qualified people. All he can do is either create the same type of content or just make it a lot better, because he has a split between top funnel, which was probably what he's doing to get a lot of reach, but then middle of the funnel will be more so about the business model and what he could do, and maybe coaching calls and frameworks and stuff like that converts people. And then having clear CTAs too, to DM for more and make it a lot more of a smoother transition. I will also introduce lead magnets or resources that people can DM to get, so you can get more opt-ins, build a nurturing email as well. And then use the best performing ads, the best performing short form content that he's producing right now as an ad. Literally the same video, or whatever the case may be. Maybe a few tweaks, or keep it the same and just run ads to it. Literally the same one.
Perfect. Beautiful. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't break what's already working.
Exactly. Just make sure that there's a clear funnel though. Make sure there's a clear funnel between the CTA in terms of people DMing. They know that they can DM to get X, Y, and Z. Make sure that the LinkedIn is fully optimized. Make sure that also they can comment to get a certain thing to a resource or whatnot, so you can build a newsletter or build an opt-in to nurture people in. Stick what's already working in terms of price tiers, work and upsell, and then On his end, he can focus on the coaching. He can focus on creating better content. Ads is just using what's already working.
Perfect. I just
And then don't
wrote down
hire-
funnel and circled it.
Yeah, and then don't hire anybody until you get like a few people through the door, so you can have data on sales calls and stuff. And
Absolutely.
then whoever the client success manager too, he's probably gonna need one. So you're probably gonna be setting a few calls, closing a few of them, and then also taking care of the back end. Make sure the onboarding's in place, the email side, the materials they receive, the calls, and everything has to be dissected. So
At what point do you think it's worth looking for a CSM?
once you have five new people, five new prospects or deals.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to put this all into a beautiful one pager to go back over. I wrote like 3 pages of notes, and I'll be going over this with Marco. I can share some of the notes from that call into the group chat. I think it would help Nate as well as just kind of giving you that timeline of the journey. That way you can use it as a case study as well. And then whatever time works for this weekend, let me know. I'm now basically in this penthouse for 60
I love
days.
it.
There's a gym
I love it.
half a mile away. There's a food place, 4-minute walk. I don't have to really like leave this side of town ever.
I love it. I love it. And then when we circle back next week, we'll go over the conversation you have with him. And then I want you to bring me the most important things that you want to focus on after that convo, whether it's offer structure or the fulfillment side or just main so like the sales aspect too, between SOPs, systems, the automations, the stages within the pipeline, everything in that sort to make your sales. Because here's the thing, marketing wouldn't be an issue with them. It's going to be the sales side and then the fulfillment side.
Sweet. Makes sense. Yeah.
But don't mistake your hunger and your experience in sales being the same as building a sales infrastructure.
No.
Because it's completely different, right?
Very different.
So you need to lay the groundwork for sales and fulfillment right now.
Otherwise, you're building a house on sand.
Exactly. It's like building not paving the way for a river flow.
Amen.
Alrighty, man. Well,
all right.
I'm gonna let you
Cody, absolute banger. I'm going to drop notes from the call, and I'll bring those notes into what I believe is going to be most important to cover next into next weekend, and just keep us focused on the sales and fulfillment, tracking every single piece of data we can get, especially early on, to build out the processes.
Let's get to it, brother. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and then I'll talk to you this week.
God bless you, brother. Take care.
Take care. Bye.